Good morning, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news of a strong rise in global trade in goods. Economic growth in the US in the September quarter was revised higher today. Originally, it was estimated at 3%, but today's second estimate shows it growing at 3.3% annual rate. And that was helped by a strong rise in global trade. The OECD said international merchandise trade growth was up a strong 4.3% in the third quarter of 2017, with both imports and exports both rising, the highest rate of growth since the first half of 2011. Bitcoin zoomed past $11,000 to hit a record high for the sixth day in a row at $11,364 overnight, after gaining more than $1,000 in just 12 hours. Then it fell, dropping $700 in just over an hour, before rising and falling hundreds of dollars each hour. That wild behaviour is stoking concerns that a rapidly swelling bubble could be set to burst in spectacular fashion. Much of the activity is from small players who are millennials in the Far East, participating in wild herd gambling. Normal market judgment is absent. But it is spectacular, a throwback to other manias, just bigger. Meanwhile, the outgoing head of the New York Federal Reserve said overnight that they are thinking about an official digital currency. He says that technology is worthy of attention, even if the activity around Bitcoin is pure speculation. Across the Atlantic, the German inflation rate is finally stirring. The increases are across the board, but led by energy costs. It rose 1.8% in the year to November, faster than both analysts' predictions and the prior month. And in action that should be noted here, a Chinese trade group has said that the total cost of credit for short-term unsecured microloans should never exceed 36%. And that is for both interest and fees. And also of note here, the Aussie Competition Commission is delving into their dairy industry. It has said it is especially interested in impediments to competition for farmers' milk. Fonterra is one of the larger players in that market. Rating agency Fitch says yesterday's RBNZ plan to ease LVR speed limits in the mortgage market is unlikely to reverse the cooling of the housing market or meaningfully increase banks' exposure to housing risks. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield has jumped to 2.38% following the high US GDP report on the expectations that the Fed will be more committed to rate hikes in 2018. The price of crude is down today by more than $1, now at just under $57 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just under $63 a barrel. Larger US crude stocks are behind the change in sentiment. And the price of gold is down. It's down $9 to $1,283 an ounce. And the Kiwi dollar is also lower, especially against the rising greenback. We're now at 68.9 US cents. On the cross rates, we're at 91.1 Aussie cents, and against the euro, 58.2 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 71.8. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.